What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be talking about Palantir, and I know that we talked about a $300 million contract in my last Palantir video, but there's actually another contract that Palantir could be getting renewed that is going to be worth $300 million or more. So we're going to go over all of the details that we currently have about this contract and what it could do for the share price of Palantir going forward. Now, we also have a very important catalyst next week for Palantir that I do think could cause some bullishness in the share price in the short term. Now, I don't think it's very smart to speculate on these short-term price fluctuations in Palantir, especially because they're so focused on creating a long-term amazing company. It's really not worth coming out and putting price speculations and short-term price targets on this company. I do think that this is going to be at least a $100 a share company over the next 5 years, but in the short term, I think, in my opinion, it is just going to be smart to buy these dips. Now, nothing I say in these videos is financial advice. These are for educational and entertainment purposes only, but as we can see here, Palantir is still trading so far off of the highs that I believe this is still an amazing buying opportunity. So before we get into all of the rest of this information, if you guys would like to earn 2 free stocks with Webull, valued up to $1,850, Webull is the brokerage that you guys see on screen in all of my videos. I use it every day. It's for my options trading portfolio. It's a great interface. It's kind of the in-between between Robinhood and TD Ameritrade in terms of the amount of technical things that you can do with it. And in order to get those 2 free stocks, all you have to do is go down and click on that link down below in my description, sign up for an account, and deposit over $100. And this is also a great way for you guys to help out and support the channel for free if you guys would like to, because when you get your 2 free stocks, I get a free stock as well. And if you enjoy the information and analysis that I provide for you in these videos, make sure you go down and hit that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video, so you get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks, learn about a couple of new ones, and see exactly which options I am trading and which strategies I am using to trade them. So let's see if we can see any difference in the unusual options activity that we saw yesterday. So we can still see that the volume on these 25s was almost as high as the open interest, which is pretty unusual. There's a lot of action going on these near to the money calls. And we can see as we go out a little bit further to these 30s, high volume, high open interest. And when we come over to these puts, we can see that there's not a lot of open interest and much less volume. So options traders are very bullish going into Palantir's double click demo day event, and we could see a massive spike in the share price. Now, this first contract that we're going to talk about, we spoke about this in my last Palantir video, so we're not going to cover it in depth, but PG&E and Palantir signed a partnership, and Palantir got a pretty substantial contract from them. Now, we didn't know what the amount of this contract was, and there's a couple of reasons for this. Now, one of the reasons may be that Palantir doesn't want to release the amounts of these contracts until the earnings report, because they don't want the other companies that they're in business with to either feel like they are underpaying, or the new companies that they are gaining contracts with feel like they are overpaying. And we can see that as part of that focus, we are responsible for deploying and realizing the value from PG&E's new enterprise data management platform, Palantir Foundry. And when we come down a little bit further, over the next 5 years, we will invest $200 million to $300 million into this platform. So that was the first $300 million deal. And let's take a look at this second one. So we can see Palantir is a polarizing name on Wall Street, eliciting a wide array of views from the analyst community. Its latest contract win has done little to convince William Blair Camel, it's a hard last name to pronounce, that a reassessment is in order. The big data specialist was recently awarded a $90 million 5-year contract from the Department of Energy Safety Analytics, Forecasting, and Evaluation Reporting Program. Palantir's platform will integrate data and enable the National Nuclear Security Administration to assess the organization's safety program's health. Additionally, this analyst anticipates the Department of Defense to shortly announce that Palantir renewed and potentially upsized its $300 million contract for the Special Operations Command all source information fusion platform. So this is a little bit interesting. So not a lot of people really knew about this contract and that it exists unless you were digging deep into all of Palantir's other contracts. But when we come over here, we can see that May 27th, 2016, Palantir is being awarded a $222 million firm fixed price contract for all source information fusion software licenses, associated support services, in support of U.S. Special Operations Command, Special Operations Forces Acquisition, Technology, and Logistics. So we can see that analyst before said that they are expecting Palantir to renew and potentially upsize this deal, but when are we expecting this to happen? So as we can see in the details of this, the anticipated period of performance includes a base year, so that would bring us to 2017, and 3 option years, which would bring us to 2021. Now, if this was signed in May of 2016, we could see that the last week of May, Palantir is going to be receiving an upsized contract with this government department. This is going to be very big news and could send the share price of Palantir going a lot higher because a $300 million contract is a big deal. We also have some Pentagon officials strongly hinting that Palantir is going to be receiving more government contracts down the road. So when we come over to this Reddit post, shout out to this guy for putting this up here. This was a PBS NewsHour interview, and we can see that the conversation is between Lieutenant General Michael S. Groen and Robert O. Work. So this individual right here is the director of the Pentagon's Joint Artificial Intelligence Center, and this other individual is former Deputy Secretary of Defense. So we are going to employ platforms which bring these technologies. We also benefit from the fact that we have a tech inversion in place where the AI technology that we need to run our department and change our operating model exists right across the street. In many of the companies, the AI data-driven companies that have survived in a very competitive market, we have a lot of good examples to look at. Obviously, Palantir is one of these examples. Just a while ago, the Secretary of Defense, Mark Esper, said, AI is the #1 priority for me as the Secretary of Defense, and he went on to say the competitor that really wins AI competitions will have a battlefield advantage for decades. Now, if you believe that, and I certainly do, I believe the commission and unanimous consensus, if you really believe that, you can't keep doing what we are doing now. I mean, the Defense Board said back in 2014 that the one thing you've got to get right is AI and AI autonomy. So AI will give you a tool that we've never had. One of our commissioners refers to this as AI gives commanders eyeglasses for the mind. And I thought it was such a pithy observation. It helps look through an enormous amount of data a human would be incapable of interpreting, and the AI is able to find patterns, make inferences, etc. This is exactly what the Palantir platform is able to do. They are essentially mentioning all of the aspects of Foundry right here without actually name dropping them. So this is very bullish for Palantir in the long term. If more government contracts keep coming in by using the Palantir or the Gotham platform, this is going to be very great news for the long term. We also see Cathie Wood buying Palantir in very large amounts ahead of the demo day happening next week. So Palantir Technologies right here, she bought on April 7th, and she bought about 1 million shares, an additional 0.1% of the ARKK ETF. Now, when we come over here, we can see that her total holdings in Palantir, as we can see right here, are going to be about 19.2 million shares. This is a significant position size, even for ARK standards. Now, to me, I think it's a very good sign that ARK Invest has continuously bought on all of these dips that we have seen on Palantir over the last couple of weeks. If she has conviction in Palantir, a lot of people follow Cathie Wood and kind of try to match what her ETFs are doing and tweak them a little bit. But what she has said in the past is that in times of market corrections where a lot of the names that she holds are trending downward, she will sell off some of the stocks that are at a loss for tax purposes and add to her position that she has the highest conviction in. And as we can see here, once the overall sell-off started to happen, Cathie Wood went from 2.6 million shares all the way up to almost 20 million shares. So she obviously has a lot of conviction in Palantir over the next 5 to 10 years, which is how I think you should look at Palantir. This isn't really a short-term company to look at for swing trading. It's really a long-term investment. I really think that they are going to be a key player in the data analytics and AI market, and no other company can really compete with them at the current time. So that is going to conclude this update on Palantir. If you guys enjoyed the information and analysis that I provided for you in this this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video, so you get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks, learn about a couple of new ones, and see exactly which options I am trading and which strategies I am using to trade them. So I hope you guys are having a great weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next video.